family, specifically the mothers? Does class or culture play a role? What makes a good language learning environment? Stay tuned for the Childhood Talk with hosts Amanda, Sarah, and Jenna.
Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about the guest that we had on our show yesterday, Erica Berman. She is the author of Deconstructing Developmental Psychology. And today what we're going to do is we're going to think with the ideas that she presented yesterday as well as within this book. So, throw it over to you, Jenna. Where do you kind of want to start? What intrigued you the most?
You know what, guys? I am stuck on this idea about baby talk.
Baby talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something that I have done as a mother to 2 young children. I've engaged in baby talk with them.
Yep.
Find it supports their language development.
Yep.
I make simple speech modifications so that I can meet them where they're at. Is that wrong? I don't know. I'm kind of toying with it. I also read a story in Your Baby that was published a while back, and it suggests that baby talk is appropriate. Because I, as a parent, am able to have a conversation and take turns with my child responding to each other. Okay. So I talk higher pitch, I enunciate, I make facial expressions, and then you know what? It grabs their attention, and it's engaging. We can sing songs together, we can repeat nursery rhymes, and I'm keeping them interested into what I'm having to say. So I'm exposing them to all forms of language.
That's really interesting. Okay. I think we have a caller that has a question about this topic. Caller, are you there?
Why do adults talk like babies? Goo goo gaga.
Great question, caller. Why do adults talk so funny to babies? I guess what he's kind of talking about is baby talk, talking funny. So,
I see what you mean, caller. I was watching Boss Baby with my
Great
children
movie.
the other day.
do you think we like that movie?
Can we get a clip of that?
Yeah, for sure.
Because he came out of nowhere. We don't even know him. How can we trust him?
He's just a baby.
Look at him. He wears a suit.
I know, isn't it cute? He's like a little man.
He carries a briefcase. Does no one else think that's, I don't know, a little freaky?
Well, you carried Lamb around until you were like...
This is not about Lamb.
All babies are different, too.
And each one is...
Such a great movie.
So, caller, I see what you mean. It does sound kind of funny, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Talking with a higher pitch and repeating words. The dad even calls the stuffed animal Lamb.
Oh, yeah, I noticed
We've
that.
done that.
Yeah. Everybody has special names, right? For their stuffed animals, of course.
It's how we connect.
That's how we connect.
I agree. Lamb does sound kind of funny, but Berman mentioned on yesterday's show that simplifying language is actually a strategy to promote language with children. So why wouldn't we want to promote language and do everything we can to support them?
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, Jenna, but maybe on the flip side to that, something that was kind of interesting while I was at the grocery store the other day.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, one of those places, right? So I'm in line, and of course I see the cutest baby ever.
I hope you took a picture.
You know I did. Of course I did. So, look at the onesie this little guy had on. What does it say? No baby talk, please. Well, Jenna, you're just saying how helpful it is to promote language. Why would they make a shirt for a baby that says, don't talk to me like a baby? That doesn't make any sense, right? So,
Kind of
audience,
refers back to our view of children, though.
well, I mean, you're right. But let's see what the audience has to say about
Okay.
it.
What were they saying in the line about it?
Well, they were saying kind of everybody was saying their own thing. Some
All
people
over the
agreed. Some people were like, yeah, we should talk to them like little adults. How else are they going to learn? I mean, kind of varied all over the place. Some people didn't even know what baby talk was.
Be a good
believe it or
debate.
not, right? So, audience, we're putting this one out there to you. tell us what you think over the commercial break, and then we'll see what happens.
To baby talk or not to baby talk? That is the question.
That is the question.
Okay, so over the commercial break, we had someone call in with an interesting question.
No way.
Let's say hi to them now. Hi, caller. What's your question?
Do chickens talk the same all over the world?
Ready for an adventure?
That's a great question.
That
Good
is a
question,
great
caller.
question.
Do children talk all the same all over the world? And how do we teach children language around the world? Interesting.
Very interesting. So, kind of to speak to that, I was watching an interesting TED Talk the other day. There comes Baby Boss back.
Always around.
I was watching an interesting TED Talk, as you guys know. Kind of a
Love
nerd.
your TED Talk.
Love my TED Talks. You're not wrong. So I was watching one by someone named Patricia Call. And what she says is that babies are citizens of the world. And
Interesting.
with that, she says that they can't discriminate different sounds. But funny enough, as adults, we don't have that ability. We are something called culture bound. So we only hear the sounds or the language that's important to us within our culture.
That's maybe why I can't learn 2 languages.
You know what? Maybe we should have started you when you were a baby. Maybe it would have been similar. So I actually have an example, like I said, from the TED Talk. She kind of introduces 2 different females, one American and one Japanese. Let's see where that takes us.
Do it in the United States.
Sorry, let me just get to the part here.
It's the universal language we use when we talk to kids. First in English and then in Japanese.
Oh my goodness.
I love your big blue eyes.
Okay.
Maybe we could
Sorry.
try it one more
Technology.
time.
Technology. We'll try again, guys. Here you go, so you guys can actually see it this time. There we go.
We got it.
Share with the crowd.
Maybe we got it. Let's see. There we go.
Live TV for you.
Listen to us talk. They're taking statistics. So listen to 2 mothers speaking motherese, the universal language we use when we talk to kids. First in English and then in Japanese. I love your big blue eyes. So pretty and nice. うわー、大きな茶色いお目目。そして綺麗な黒い髪。During the production of speech, when babies listen, what they're doing is taking statistics on the language that they hear. And those distributions grow. And what we've learned is that babies are sensitive to the statistics, and the statistics of Japanese and English are very, very different. English has a lot of R's and L's, the distribution.
You heard the high pitch again there.
You know, Berman touched a little bit on this yesterday when she was here.
You're right. Didn't she mention something about even though much of the research that's kind of happened so far has been devoted to the process and promotion of children's language learning, right? I think that's what she was saying. And then I think she also said that the issue here is what else are we missing when that's the only thing that we focus on, right? So she said the issue of what else children learn through language has been eclipsed. So,
That's a good thinking. You know what? I kind of agree with Berman. With this research, we don't actually see the social relationships between children and adults being built. It's kind of non-existent. The immersion into their culture or how technology can play a role, none of that is really studied. So I wonder how we can go about seeing the effects of language and the production of language later on for children, if it in fact has any relation.
yeah, I found it interesting how she was speaking to the fact in this video, Patricia, that the children will pick up the sounds, as we mentioned before, of their culture. So in Western cultures, R and L's are predominant, so that's where the baby's focus lied, whereas in Japan, that's not the case. So how does learning happen? Why and where? And you know what? You brought up a really good point. Technology, the most controversial thing out there.
That's a buzzword.
So let's talk about that one for a second. Let's go there.
You know what? Oh, do we want to? I'm not sure.
I mean, we'll open it up to you, Jenna. We'll start off with you.
Technology, let's agree, it does have its benefits. But I
does.
don't necessarily think it's for language development as a whole. I agree with Patricia from the TED Talk video that you shared. It takes human being and human connection to make language and make language connections. So where does technology have its benefits and where does then it fault in areas of language?
Yeah, the pros and cons, right?
Absolutely. For making a connection, it takes 2 or 3 or more humans. But for vocabulary expansion, my children have learned lots from technology. What it looks like differs depending on what they're doing. Like, my son ended up with a British accent for a little bit from watching Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig!
Peppa Pig. He calls a shopping cart a trolley to this day.
Okay.
But that's okay. It is a trolley or a shopping cart, depending where you are in the world. And why can't we use that language here? It really depends. It also exposed them to a new way of viewing the world.
That's interesting that you say that, because now you're kind of bringing me over to the dark side. Because technology does have its faults, but again, like you said, there is some pros in what technology can offer to children that maybe we as parents can't.
Yeah. And I think a good way to see it is they're not wrong, right? A shopping cart is a trolley.
Right. True.
It's just a different label for it that we may not be exposed to here within our culture because you know what? We just don't have that opportunity.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if they have the ability to interconnect worldwide, I say why not? But I also see this fault of we're missing that human connection these days.
Yes.
All of our noses are in a piece of technology, right?
So, gotta have the balance, guys, and I think that's where we're gonna run out of time today.
Yes.
And we're gonna close our segment with another idea from Berman that she said yesterday.
Okay.
Let's think about this for a minute. It seems that there can be no one model of language learning, but we must attend to the differences.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a huge thing. I definitely agree with that. There's differences in everything that we do. So why in language do we not take those into account, right?
Why is one wrong, one right?
Yeah. What do we miss? What is eclipsed from that? Well, great conversation. We'll continue in next week, but thank you guys for watching today's show. Bring your thoughts over to the forum section, and we can continue these conversations again, like I said, next week. And guess what? Our new special guest for next week, Professor Randa Qatar.
Oh,
yeah.
Can't wait
good
to
one.
hear what
Do
she
not
has
miss
to say
it.
about these ideas.
Yeah, let's see how she was thinking with Berman and her ideas.
Bye. See you next time.
Bye.